Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another deep dive. Today, I want to walk you through a little real-world experiment I conducted recently. I'm sharing something that genuinely changed how I approach repurposing content across the web. If you are a dedicated podcaster or a busy creator recording on the go, you already know this frustration. You capture a solid monologue or some decent footage, but the room is echoing badly. Or maybe there is just some annoying background appliance, like an air purifier, humming constantly beneath your voice. That single element can completely destroy the professional vibe you were aiming for. So I naturally tried out a handful of popular online tools to rescue two very specific problem clips I recorded on my phone. One clip suffered from that reflective, echo-heavy office environment I just described. The second file was dominated by that loud, screaming air purifier running in the background the whole time. My main goal wasn't to conduct a lab-grade scientific comparison, but something much more practical. I just wanted to see what these tools actually do in the real messy situations creators face daily. I tested 4 major services that keep popping up in creator discussions: Auphonic, Zound, Adobe Podcast, and Runway ML. But here is the crucial twist to this whole evaluation. I am not just evaluating their audio cleanup capabilities alone in this video. I'm also going to show you how I leverage a different tool, Vizard, to transform that clean material into snackable clips. This is how I schedule them automatically across all my social channels to actually get more mileage from one single recording session. So stick around if you prefer a genuinely practical workflow over just staring at a bunch of technical specifications. All right, let's do a quick recap of those 2 very problematic source files we are working with. The first clip presents that typical office echo with non-carpeted floors and hard walls that give it almost bathroom-like reverb. The second recording is characterized by me talking right over a very loud air purifier that is essentially screaming in the background. Both of these clips were simply recorded on an iPhone, so we are definitely not starting from any kind of studio quality baseline. Now, here is exactly what I did next, and how each one of those 4 tools behaved under pressure. First up, we look at Auphonic, which is used by countless pros in the podcast world for good reason. It is built by audio-focused people, and it offers you a surprising amount of granular control over the output. You can upload your file, select voice isolation, choose specific noise reduction levels, and there's also the adaptive limiter, auto EQ, and the whole package. They generously give you a tiny free allotment every month, which is perfect for initial testing before committing. For the actual echo room file, I pushed the speech isolation quite high and kept the noise reduction fairly conservative, around a medium setting. The result on that echo clip was a very noticeable reduction in those room reflections without much effort. The reverb definitely got pulled back. The voice sounded more present and natural, and artifacts were pretty minimal when I kept the settings restrained. Then moving on to the air purifier file, I let Auphonic be more aggressive with the processing, setting that noise reduction to auto. To my genuine surprise, it handled that steady, constant humming brilliantly across the entire duration. The purifier noise essentially disappeared for the most part, and the speaker's voice managed to keep its original character intact. So the Auphonic bottom line is that it did a very solid job on both different types of noise, especially if you take the time to actually tweak the parameters. The main downside is certainly those limited free minutes you get each month, and you do need to fiddle a bit to prevent overprocessing and unwanted artifacts. Next up in the ring, we have Zound, which is a relatively newer contender on the scene with a very clean user interface. The workflow for Zound is incredibly simple. You upload your file, choose the strength using just one single slider, and then press process. I dropped the echoey office clip right into Zound and set that main strength slider to approximately 70%. It estimated the file composition, like the percentage of speech versus silence, and then tried to do its internal magic. The result was just okay. It definitely helped reduce the echo, but wasn't quite as strong as Auphonic on that reflection-heavy file. The reverb got somewhat reduced, but you could still distinctly notice remnants of that roominess. When dealing with the steady air purifier hum, cranking that single slider up to 80% definitely improved things overall. It successfully removed more of that constant background noise, but it still felt a bit like a one-size-fits-most approach to processing. The main attraction here is definitely the speed and simplicity, especially if you just prefer not to mess around with tons of different options. The trade-off you accept is less fine control and results that can be slightly inconsistent depending on what kind of noise you are tackling. Moving along to the next contender, Adobe Podcast was on the testing block. People absolutely love being within the Adobe ecosystem, and their one-click noise reduction feature is undeniably tempting. Plus, If you already happen to subscribe to their other products, you might even get this feature bundled in for free. It offers a strength slider similar to Zound, but be warned, the processing here can get surprisingly aggressive if you push that setting too far. For my echo clip, it successfully removed a lot of those reflections, but at higher strengths, it introduced some really noticeable artifacts. I found the sweet spot hovered around 60 to 70%, where the audio cleans up nicely without sounding totally unnatural. When tackling the steady air purifier hum, you unfortunately have to push the algorithm quite a bit to successfully get rid of that constant low-frequency sound. And predictably, the more aggressively you push that setting, the more prominent those digital artifacts unfortunately become. So Adobe is definitely powerful, but it's a little bit blunt, which is fine if you want fast results and can trade some naturalness for aggressive cleanup. Finally, we come to Runway ML, which truly positions itself as the Swiss Army knife for modern creators in many different domains. This platform handles video, image manipulation, and of course, various audio AI tasks all in one place. I use their dedicated one-click feature simply labeled Clean Audio for my testing purposes. The process here is super simple. You upload your file, click that clean button, and then you just wait patiently for the results. The echo file did get some improvement from Runway, though it was not quite as dramatic as what I achieved with Auphonic. Interestingly, the track dominated by the constant air purifier hum actually improved more significantly here than the echo clip did. That's because those steady, predictable background noises tend to be easier for these large AI models to isolate and remove completely. The real catch with Runway is that they offer you almost no control over the final output. What you hear after processing is ultimately what you get. If the result is absolutely perfect for your needs, then that's fantastic. But if it's not quite right, you are stuck with what the AI decided. So, let's do a quick summary of what we learned about these 4 distinct audio cleanup methods. Auphonic offers you the absolute best control and the most natural-sounding results, provided you are willing to actually tweak the parameters. Zound is your go-to for speed and simplicity, delivering decent results, especially against steady background noise. Adobe is undeniably powerful in its cleanup strength, but you have to watch out because it can easily introduce those undesirable artifacts when pushed too hard. And Runway provides that convenient, completely hands-off one-click approach, which is surprisingly good for constant, monotonous noise. But now, here is the part where we bring in Vizard. And this is why I even bothered mentioning those other tools in the first place. Vizard is not actually designed to be an audio cleaner tool to replace any of the ones we just discussed. Instead, it is an AI-powered long video editor, and its primary job is incredibly focused. Its mission is to find the high-impact, engaging moments within your long videos and automatically turn them into ready-to-post short clips. It does this entire discovery and cutting process automatically, finding the moments that are genuinely viral-worthy. Once those clips are generated, you can immediately schedule them out using the built-in auto-schedule feature. Then, you manage the entire publishing pipeline from one centralized location using the Content Calendar view. So, why integrate Vizard into an audio cleaning video tutorial like this one? Because cleaning up noisy audio and creating shareable viral clips are 2 sides of the very same modern creator problem. You want content that sounds watchable and performs well, but you absolutely do not want to spend countless hours staring at complex editing timelines. Here is the exact workflow I have been using recently that has personally saved me so many hours of tedious work. Step 1 is always getting a quick cleanup pass done on the problem audio file, using Auphonic or whichever tool suits the noise type best. Step 2 is feeding that newly cleaned, better-sounding audio file directly into the Vizard platform. Step 3 lets Vizard automatically analyze the whole thing, pick out the best moments, and create those short-form clips for you. Finally, Step 4 is letting the auto-schedule feature handle the posting cadence while you review everything in the content calendar. The final result is professional sounding, highly engaging, snackable content pushed live across platforms without you needing to babysit every single upload. Let's discuss a few practical notes on applying that workflow based on your specific type of audio issue. If your primary problem is that nasty room echo or general reflection, Auphonic usually gives the cleanest, most natural result when you want to keep the voice character preserved. I typically perform a very conservative cleanup pass there, just to absolutely ensure I don't introduce any unwanted processing artifacts. However, if it's a constant mechanical hum like an AC unit or that air purifier, Runway and Zound can be surprisingly fast and effective for quick fixes. Adobe can also work well for that constant hum, but you must dial in the settings very carefully to avoid sounding digital. Once the audio is at least tolerable, the real challenge is creating clips that instantly hook viewers within those crucial first 3 seconds. This is precisely where Vizard's automatic editing feature shines brightest in the entire chain. It actively looks for high-energy spikes, exciting phrases, genuine reactions, and then perfectly trims everything into short formats for reels or shorts. And honestly, that integrated scheduling piece is what truly changes the entire game for content management. I used to have to manually export every single clip, log into multiple different platforms, upload them, set specific times, and maintain a whole spreadsheet for tracking. With Vizard's auto-schedule, you simply define the desired cadence, maybe 2 clips distributed per week, and the system handles all the posting logistics. The content calendar then serves as your single centralized place to preview every single post and rearrange your entire upcoming week. Seriously, that organization alone felt like having a small, dedicated team constantly managing my various social feeds. Let's quickly compare the value of these different approaches side by side for a moment. If your singular focus is just fixing audio for a traditional podcast that only lives on one platform, one of those audio-only tools is absolutely fine. But if you are a creator who needs to feed multiple short-form platforms consistently, Vizard dramatically amplifies the actual value of any audio cleanup you perform. Instead of spending an hour fine-tuning one perfect clip, you can now generate a dozen high-quality clips from that same clean source file. That massive scalability in production is genuinely where Vizard completely overtakes those single-focus audio processing tools. Let's briefly touch on the topic of pricing structure and overall convenience for a moment. Auphonic and Adobe can definitely start getting quite pricey if you find yourself needing to process hundreds of minutes every single month. Runway also uses a flexible model, but again, if you want to process massive amounts of content, those costs certainly begin to add up quickly. Zound tends to be quite simple and cheap to access, but as we saw, it's not always the most refined in its final output quality. Vizard isn't trying to directly replace any of these dedicated audio tools. Rather, it is intentionally complementary to them. The smarter strategic play is to use the absolute right tool for each specific job that comes your way. Apply dedicated audio cleanup where necessary, and then immediately run the clean sources through Vizard for editing and distribution. To effectively wrap up this entire comparison segment, did any of those 4 standalone audio tools magically solve everything for me? Absolutely not. Each one has distinct strengths and specific situations where they truly shine above the others. Auphonic remained my personal favorite for achieving that natural-sounding cleanup across both echo and consistent background noise scenarios. Adobe can be incredibly potent, but you always need to exercise caution so it doesn't end up overdoing the processing on your file. Runway is fantastic for the completely hands-off user experience and handles humming very well, while Zound is quick and easy for those very basic cleanups. But if your ultimate goal is turning one single messy recording into an entire content engine, this next part is key. If you want a consistent stream of short clips posted across multiple platforms without grinding through manual edits and uploads, Vizard is the tool that perfectly ties it all together. The auto-editing discovers those viral nuggets, the auto-schedule ensures they reliably get posted, and the calendar keeps your entire strategy organized and easily tweakable. The absolute best part is that you do not need to be a seasoned editor or even hire one to achieve this level of output efficiency. Vizard simply handles the heavy lifting on the technical side, leaving you fully in charge of all your creative control decisions. So what is your current take on this combined approach to content creation and audio management? If you are currently struggling with noisy recordings and want to transform them into a predictable flow of social content, this combo is for you. Try cleaning your audio first with Auphonic or Runway, depending on the specific type of noise you are fighting. Then, immediately feed those cleaned files into Vizard to auto-generate the clips and get them fully scheduled out. Please leave a comment below telling me what other tools you currently use in your own workflow, or if you think I missed any crucial software. Also, let me know if you want a follow-up video where I show the exact step-by-step exports and all my Vizard configuration settings. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch or read through all of this today. Take it easy out there, and I genuinely look forward to seeing you all in the next video.